Welcome to That's Why We're Friends.
The podcast where we laugh a lot, talk about real life, and hold on to faith through it all.
We're two friends navigating the oldish season of life and celebrating the kind of friendships that make it all a little easier.
So whether you're feeling overwhelmed, hopeful, or just need a laugh, this podcast is for you.
Pull up a chair and join the conversation.
Hey, Sarah.
How's it going?
It's really good. How are you?
I'm good. I was laughing about something earlier that I was reminding myself about. So I don't know if you realize just the funny things that you say from time to time. So, we've talked about that we like to leave audio messages for each other back and forth.
Yes.
And so every once in a while, they'll just, something that you say is just like gold, and I'll pull out my note and I'll like write something down.
Okay.
So I wanted to give you one of your quotes back and see if you can remember what it was in reference to.
Well, if it's been more than 48 hours ago, I'm not going to remember it.
So your quote was, "I think we need to be happy with the chips that we have."
Referring to actual edible chips.
Yes.
Not poker chips.
No,
not the chips that we were dealt.
Yes.
Right.
Referring to actual chips.
Yeah. I feel like that has something to do with the reference to you stealing chips from my house, maybe.
No, I mean, that may have all been part of the conversation eventually.
Oh, no. I do remember.
Do you?
Yes, I remember because it was, you wanted to buy these very expensive chips at, I don't know if I could say the name of the grocery store.
At Whole Foods.
Whole Foods, okay. Well, I don't know what legal things there are.
I don't think they care. We're not about to bash them. They just have expensive chips.
They have expensive chips, which everyone knows already anyway. So there were these expensive chips you found that were made in beef tallow?
Yes.
Okay.
Fried in beef tallow in not a big bag. Like, I don't know what you would call the bag. I mean, you wouldn't call it like the individual serving size bag that you get at the gas station. But definitely not like a full-size regular, somewhere in between.
Yeah.
But still probably could just be one serving for me.
Sure. Yeah, same.
For me, definitely.
Listen, but the big bag is one serving for me some days.
But this, moderately sized bag of these potato chips are like $13.
Yes.
And I kept seeing them, and I was like, cannot buy a $13 bag of potato chips. So I had asked you about it because I was like, okay, have you tried these chips? Do you know? And you hadn't, but you had something else that was done in beef tallow, and you were like, no, don't do it. And that helped me settle it of like, I'm not curious anymore. I'm not going to do it. But then you were like, we just need to be happy with the chips that we have.
Well, I think that the reason I told you not to do it is because the ones I purchased, I had to order online. They kept popping up in my Instagram feed, same thing, made with beef tallow. I'm like, oh, they're healthier for me,
Right. Healthy fried potatoes.
And so I went ahead and ordered them, but you couldn't order one bag. You were forced to order 3 bags.
Oh, that's right.
And I paid a stupid amount of money. And the first chip out of the first bag, I was like, these are disgusting. They tasted like licking the bottom of a cast iron skillet that had made multiple batches of fried chicken. It was so gross. And so that's why I was like, don't waste your money. Yeah. We have good chips we eat good chips that are made in avocado oil.
Yes.
That are
$3 for a bag.
3?
Or, well, I don't know how much. I mean,
oh no, I think they're way more than 3. Okay. I think those chips are 7 or 8 or 9.
They're not close to 14, not 9.
Oh, no, I don't know.
No, the Siete ones?
I think they are.
No.
But it doesn't matter.
Okay, well,
they're still cheaper than the ones you wanted
get
to buy.
More. I mean, it is a bigger bag.
Correct.
Than that one.
Yeah.
So you saved me from doing an $13 experiment.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was a memorable quote that we need to be happy with the chips that we have. And I am very happy with the chips that I have in my life. I'm pretty much happy with all chips. I know. Discriminate a ton because I've had so many years of eating the kettle cooked thicker chips. I cannot do an old fashioned like the thin Lay's.
Ones. Yeah.
That to me I can't.
I'm not saying I would never eat a standard like Lay's chip, but I am a little bit of an ingredient snob.
Oh yeah, true.
In that I typically want to eat the higher quality fried foods.
We gotta pick our battles, we gotta
I do love the lime chips that Siete has.
Yeah, and I don't really care for lime on my chips.
Oh man, it's like it almost like burns the inside of your mouth because
Yeah.
it's so salt.
And the other thing that you
what I
like
love
that I
about it.
don't love is the vinegar.
Oh, I love salt and vinegar chips.
Yeah.
Those are so good. My daughter-in-law can't do like those kinds of things that feel like they're sour or something. It's interesting how our taste buds are just different like
We're
that.
also uniquely made.
Uniquely made.
We
in
can
God's
celebrate
image.
that.
Yeah.
Celebrate our differences and celebrate our potato chips. Because
Yeah.
we're in a month of celebration.
We are indeed. And today we're going to talk about celebrating everyday faithfulness and
Yes.
ordinary faithfulness in our lives.
Yes, which is important. And I feel like it's a theme on our podcast, that we talk about those daily habits, or, having gratitude for the small things, knowing that it's living our lives intentionally that way on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Not trying to just add this to our life as like a occasional, thing we do on the weekends. But no, all the things that we're talking about, that they're a lifestyle. In order for them to really impact our mind and our heart and our life, they're things that need to be a part of every season and every day.
Yeah.
And so I think that is one of the big takeaways for me with celebration is I'm not going to wait till a Friday to celebrate. I'm not just going to complain through my week to get to Friday to celebrate.
Right.
Celebration is every day. Gratitude is every day. And so a big part of that then is choosing to look for it in those ordinary places where we might miss it if we weren't being intentional.
Yeah. I think too, if we don't do it on a regular basis, then it's like just a one-time party, and it doesn't really lead you to building a life that enjoys what God's given you. We talk about that all the time. We talked about spiritual disciplines a few months ago, and it's like, if you don't put those things in practice on a regular, consistent basis, then it's like, yeah, that one-off may make you feel good, but it doesn't really lead to a life that is full of God's goodness and his faithfulness and his kindness in your life.
Yeah, I think the easiest analogy for me is when we think about our bodies and we talk about like health, nutrition, and even like physical activity. If once a month I have a salad and the rest of the month I eat
chips.
potato chips, that is not going to really do anything for my health, for my life.
Yeah.
If I, work out once a month, I'm not going to see an impact from that.
Right.
And so it correlates perfectly.
Yeah.
That for something to really impact our lives, it has to be a part of a daily rhythm and routine. Now, does that mean every once in a while I have, pizza and cake? Absolutely. But it's like, which one is the exception and which one is the rule?
Right.
Because the rule is the one that's going to really shape your life.
Yeah.
And then the exceptions can come. So it doesn't become this, we're not talking about religiousness of like, oh, I didn't do something today, and so my life's going to fall apart, or I'm going to lose, my walk with the Lord. It's just about building a lifestyle. What really becomes the norm for you? Because the norms in your life are what's going to impact and what your life is going to be reflected in.
Yeah.
So what are the norms?
Right.
And I think we're just always talking about trying to make things like celebration the norm versus the exception.
Yeah. And I think too, like, celebration really encompasses so much of stewardship and faithfulness. Like, that's a fruit of the Spirit. Like, we can't really celebrate little things where we see God. I mean, that's just, again, celebration is just looking for God in the everyday. We can't celebrate that if we're not walking in his righteousness anyway, because it's like, again, it's just going to be a one-time. It's going to make you feel good for a moment, but it's not going to be a lasting feel good. Yes. And so I feel like celebration really, it's like we then have to talk about stewardship and faithfulness on the everyday level. And it makes me think so much about, when I was thinking about this topic, I was really thinking about Joseph and like how his entire life, it's like God gave him a dream of what his life was going to be as this leader. And then he's in a pit and in prison. Made no sense at all. And instead of being like sitting down and grumbling and complaining and saying, God, you told me I'd be a leader. How come I'm not there?
Yeah.
He decided to shine the bars of his prison. You know what I mean? Like he's just okay, well, this is where I'm at today and this is where I'm going to be faithful. And then tomorrow, this is where I'm at and I'm going to be faithful. And then one day, God is like, now it's time.
Yeah.
Now you get to be elevated, because it's that everyday walking consistently like moves us to the place where God wants us to be, and gives us the influence in the circle he's given us.
Yes. And it's gonna, again, we know this spiritually because the Bible tells us. We also know this now scientifically because of research when it comes to psychology and gratitude and celebration. Like, living from this place every day, choosing to make this my perspective, is going to make my life better.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's going to stop real circumstances from happening.
Right.
But it is going to make my outlook, my attitude, and all of that. It's a natural impact of it, that it is going to be better because my perspective is looking for the things to celebrate. And I had a really timely reminder of that recently. So part of my finishing up school right now is leading a group, like a therapy type group. And one of the reasons why I'm excited about being a counselor is I love one-on-one conversations. And I'm really enjoying all of the actual practice I'm getting to do right now, one-on-one with clients, and actually, doing therapy. And I love it. And it's such a good thing to find out that I do love it. And I can't wait to just be, sitting in a room one-on-one. I've always struggled, even in all of my history of being in church and serving in church and leading small groups.
Yeah.
There's just a dynamic in that I don't love as much.
Sure.
It's just, more complicated. You have more people and voices, and it's a deep Sarah thing. I won't waste our time, going into all of it, but the group dynamic is a struggle for me at times.
Yeah.
And so this group that I've been helping lead, delightful people. I mean, really and truly. But for me, it has been just kind of get through it. Like, this is a requirement for my school, help do this group. And I've known when the end date was, and, looked forward to it coming to kind of just check the box and have it over. And it was enjoyable in the moment doing it, like presenting the information and all that stuff. But overall, my attitude wasn't like, oh, this is the most amazing thing ever.
Really?
Like, this is, oh, hush.
I didn't get any audio messages about that.
But it wrapped up recently. And the last day was very enjoyable. We made it a celebration, and I wanted to do that for them. But what I didn't count on was that most of the people in the group really took some time to celebrate the group and to celebrate myself and the other counselor that led it. And they shared with us, from their heart, what the group had meant for them and what it had done for them. And it was this incredibly, just weighty moment for me. But it's almost just like I awoke to the fact that those 8 weeks hadn't been about me.
Yeah.
That they had been about them and their experience and how much it had helped them. And it was a very humbling and kind of embarrassing moment for me, not with them, they didn't know that, but just for me to acknowledge with the Lord, wow, how have I just missed and been so off the mark with my heart and mind towards this, that it has been all about me and what I thought. It was just very humbling. And again, it's almost kind of embarrassing to say it out loud, but to get to hear from their perspective what it meant for them. And it just was a huge reminder for me going forward of oh my gosh, okay, where else, because I'm in school and because I'm moving towards this goal, where else do I just have my head down and I'm not even aware of what God is doing and celebrating what he's doing, because I can see the finish line. And where else am I losing perspective because I'm so focused on the finish line?
Yeah.
And so I feel like that can be true for all of us in different places in our life, not because, we all have a graduation date that we're moving towards, but is it the end of summer? Is there something that you get fixed on, the first day of school, and then our perspective and our focus shifts to that thing. And then I'm not really in today with God. And so how can I find him and the things to celebrate? Because I'm trying to celebrate December 11th on, you know, in August.
Yeah.
And I can't celebrate December 11th and August. That's my graduation date. I can only celebrate today. Right. And so it has just been kind of this like amazing revelation with the Lord of like, okay, thank you for showing me this now instead of in November. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm thankful that I kind of woke up to it and I can choose to be present and celebrate better the next 4 or 5 months versus continuing in the way that I was, which was just missing what was happening.
Sure.
And so I think a good takeaway for that for us today is like, okay, where am I doing that? Where am I looking to something, even if it's tomorrow, even if it's this weekend, anything that's looking past this moment right now with the Lord, then I'm going to miss the opportunity to celebrate with him. So that's just kind of my confession and repentance for today, because it's been a weighty thing that I feel like I've just been sitting with in the Lord of like, okay, I see it. Thank you for showing me, and I'm sorry. And I don't want to keep going in that way.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, it's such a picture for us to remember, like, yes, as we're working, you know, if you take the example of our bodies and like, say you start a weightlifting program and you're like, I'm going to do this program for 3 months and see how I am in 3 months. And so it's like, if you're looking at the end of 3 months, you miss the moment of like, oh, well, this week I actually went up 5 pounds. Let's celebrate that instead of celebrating what I think is going to happen in the future. And when we go in the future, that's where the anxiety comes from.
Yes.
Of like, I got to get through this.
1,000%.
Okay, I can't make it through this day because it's so hard today, but I know I have to check this off the box, you know, or check off the box for this item today to get to that point. Yeah. And so I think it's just a good reminder that our journey would be a lot more fun and a lot more full of God if we can remember in the moment to celebrate him.
Yes.
And it's hard. It's really hard because most everything we're doing is working for a future goal.
Right.
So it's like, you think about when your kids are little, you're raising kids so that they're going to grow up, love the Lord, be like valuable citizens, not be in prison, and like, you know, so, or at my job, I'm working for the next promotion, or, you know, even think about mundane tasks every day. I'm doing the laundry so that we have clean clothes. Well, what about if while you're taking the clothes out of the dryer, you pray for the person whose clothes they are?
Yeah.
You know, and it just, that celebrates God is faithful. He is working in our lives.
Yes. Yeah. So it doesn't mean that we abandon all planning or, you know, but it's just that intentionality of like, it's kind of, you know, in Ecclesiastes where it talks about there's, you know, a time for all these different things. You could say there's a time for planning and there's a time for being present in the moment. So like even today, you and I spent some time this morning kind of planning, looking at the rest of the year, but we're not going to spend the rest of the day like in the future. You want to come back to, okay, God, and now, so what are you doing today? And help me be present with you in each moment today and celebrate each moment today. Like, and not have regret. Like I felt regret when the whole thing happened with the group. I felt regret that like, wow, what did I miss these last 8 weeks? Because I've just been getting through it.
Yeah.
And that was part of the regret that I felt. And so we don't want to miss out on getting to celebrate each day with the Lord and something that he might have for us in that day. That if I'm just thinking about tomorrow or the next big thing, man, what are we missing out on experiencing with him today?
Right.
And because we can't go back and do that. All we have is the moment that we're in.
Yeah.
And that, for me, feels like the biggest takeaway with celebration is just staying in step with him right now in this moment. And that's all that's asked of me.
Yeah. You know, so when I was 33, a childhood friend of mine died, and her mom is one of the most faithful women I know. And I remember after JJ died, you know, several months later, just Peggy saying, I have no regrets. And I was like, wow, how have you lived as a mother for this long? And you can say that. But it's because she is also one of the most celebratory people. Like, she is just excited and happy about everything for everyone. Like, you know, she's not like denying harsh reality in people's lives. In fact, she has walked with me over the last few years of my life where we've had really hard issues with some family members where I've had hard health issues, and she's real about them, but she's so like, but God is so faithful, and she celebrates like little things. And so it's just like, wow, no regrets. That would be an amazing place to live.
Yes.
And so I think that everyday, ordinary, faithful celebration is, what gets us there.
And I think one tiny part of it, if we want to talk about like a discipline or a habit, is some of the language that you just used, but God is faithful. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of those sentences that you don't necessarily want to be putting that out on everybody else. Mm-hmm. The day someone like something hard happens that you're like, but God is faithful.
Yeah.
But I think where that is crucial is for me, that I am telling that to myself on a regular basis as I'm praying when I'm telling the Lord something that feels hard, that I can always say that to myself and it's not hurtful the way it can be if I use it in an untimely manner to try to make someone feel better.
Yes.
But I should always be telling that to myself. But God, you're faithful. Like, this feels really hard right now, but I know you're faithful. But God, you're faithful. That is important for our brains to continuously be reminded of that, of building our own faith. Like, but you're faithful.
Yeah. And, as you're just sitting here saying that, I feel like we're like wrapping up almost the last year, which is funny because we are wrapping up the last year. But it's like, now that's leading me to think about how lament is worship. And so if I'm in the middle of something hard and I choose to go to God and say, but God, you're faithful. Yeah. That is lamenting and worship all in one, which we've talked about both of those things also, so it's like the spiritual discipline and just the fruit of the Spirit of saying, but God, you're faithful, is also celebratory.
Yes.
And it's like, if we can look at that through the lens of hard or through the lens of whatever we've got going on that day, even mundane, like, all I have to do today is laundry and clean the house and fill up the car with gas and take the dog to the groomer, like the mundane things we do. But God, you've given me the ability to do them. Like, I have the physical capability. I have the financial capability. I have a home. So celebrate.
Yes.
Like, in the mundane.
Yes. And I wonder even if just kind of what you were saying of acknowledging God at all in any way, shape, or form is considered celebration to Him.
Oh my goodness.
Right? Like,
I'm not even going to edit that blank space because I feel like everyone needs to sit with that thought for a minute. Like, wherever we see Him. Yeah. It's a
celebration just that He is.
Yeah, so I think it just is proof that, we don't have to wait for the big moments. Because God celebrates the things that culture ignores,
Oh,
it's like he celebrates that faithfulness. You're a, stay-at-home mom you have the minute to wipe down your kitchen counters. Like, He celebrates that. You're stewarding your home. Or maybe you don't have time to wipe down your counters and you're wiping butts instead.
Yes.
He celebrates that too. Because listen, as a grandma who had her granddaughter recently,
you got to choose your moments.
For 4 days, there were no counters being wiped, only butts.
That's great.
I think that's so good. Wow. Just choosing to acknowledge Him is celebration. I love it. I love it. Yeah. That's so good. Why do you think that our consistency with celebrating everyday faithfulness is harder than the intensity of like a one-time celebration?
I think there are 1,000 answers to that question. What comes to mind first is the speed of life in which we exist in. Unless you live in a very rural community that just the pace is super slow, or you just have intentionally decided, I'm gonna live it, and good for you. Message us and tell us
seriously how you do it.
3 steps to slow it. So I think that it's so just easy to get back in the pace of life that you have to slow down, I think, to take the time to do that. And you have to believe that you can slow down, which, oh, by the way, brings us back to spiritual disciplines of Sabbath and of rest and of trusting that God is in control of time, not me.
Yeah.
And I can't actually maximize his creation without him. If he invented time, if he's the keeper of time, I cannot maximize it without him.
Yeah.
It's his. Like,
That's so good.
so if I want to make the most of it, I actually have to include him in it. So I think it starts with choosing not to believe the lie that I have to go at the pace that the world tells me. I have to have the noise of whatever that is, the TV or all the information that I'm constantly letting into my brain, because all of that just makes it feel like it's moving faster. And I think then I lose my choice. I think we have to be reminding ourselves how many choices we actually have.
Yeah. We forget. We think we're stuck in like a, this is my situation.
This is just the way they do it. This is the way
Yeah.
the world operates. It's like, where do we actually, though, have a ton of choices?
Right.
With what we're doing, what we're allowing, what we're filling space with.
Yeah.
We have a lot more choices than we like to think that we do.
Yeah, and I think that's such a good thing to remember is like you do have a choice of this is what I'm going to do, or I'm going to make a different choice. I'm going to go a different path. And I think remembering God's given us such freedom to go live our lives. You know, he's not concerned. Well, I don't want to say he's not concerned, but he's not like, oh, well, she didn't ask me, should she drive to the grocery store today?
Right.
You know, it's like, okay, go live your life,
Yes.
enjoy your life,
Yes.
right? But there are things where we need to say like, okay, this is my plan, but let me consult the Lord. Not that he's like a backup plan, but I just was reading Joshua this week, and they like fought this huge battle of Jericho, and they go in to conquer AI. I think that's how you say it, which is so weird now, living in the day of AI.
Yeah.
But they go in to conquer it, and the Bible says they lost because they didn't consult God. Like, hello.
Yeah.
That's bad. Yeah. Like, but yet the Lord had already said, go conquer all these lands.
Right.
Now, when you look at it, there was sin. And so in that story, if you go read it, there was sin. Someone had stolen some things that God said not to take. Like, they couldn't individually take any of the gold and things that they got when they conquered Jericho. So there was sin. So they go to fight this other battle. And it says they didn't. If they would have consulted God, he would have said, hey, there's an underlying thing we need to deal with first. And then you can win that victory. Yeah. And so it's like, okay, we have to consult the Lord on our decisions on a regular basis. He gives us freedom to make those decisions. But it's like if we're consulting him and we really want to walk in his ways, you know, then we need to say like, God, I have these plans. What are your thoughts? Because he might say, nope, let them go. Yeah. And we have to be willing to, and that's where it's just like, okay, we have to look different than the world.
Yes.
We can't say like, no, this is my plan and this is what I'm doing. I was just telling you a story earlier, like that I was like, we have a plan. My husband wanted to do something different. I was like, no, we have a plan. But that wasn't God's will for our life. He wanted us to do something different, and I had to let go. And he was faithful and kind to be like, why are you so stubborn? So here we are.
Yes. Yeah. Glad it worked out.
Everyday faithfulness. It reminds me of the verse in Galatians 6:9. It says, let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up.
Yes.
Which, you know, can really just be applied to everything in life.
Yes.
It's like, okay.
And every spiritual discipline. We always come back to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. The other verse that comes to mind in this topic is Zechariah 4:10, where it's talking about not despising small beginnings. Yeah. And so just not disregarding things that may seem like they're tiny or small or insignificant. And so it's like when I go to the grocery store, is he with me? Like, do I have any thoughts of him on the way there, you know, in the store? Like, it's that awareness. Am I aware of him throughout the day? Or do I have quiet time with him in the morning and talk to him? And then do I think of him again at night when I go to bed? Yeah. Like that would make me think about my group experience. Yeah. That where was he in the middle of it all? Like he was there, but I wasn't engaging with him, acknowledging him, asking him questions. And so that is more of the win of celebrating our day by acknowledging and remembering him throughout.
Yeah. No, that is so good. That's great. Well, once again, I think this has given me just a lot to think about and unpack.
Same.
Yeah. So what are you going to do to enjoy the life God's given you this week?
That is a great question, Kara. I think I've mentioned this, I don't know, so many times this year of my school journey, but I really am at a transition period from the end of our summer semesters into fall, and August somehow has become fall in the world of school. And
Not in Texas.
Right? It just is what it is, but that fall term, begins. And so I'm celebrating that this is the final stretch, my last semester. I'm starting my final semester of graduate school, and that feels very, very exciting. Yeah. So I'm definitely celebrating that.
That's awesome. And soon we'll be talking about celebrating like party and all the things.
It's hard to, I have to just keep a lid on it because it's not time. Like I said, I'm going to stay present in the moment and, do all the things, walk out what I've been learning. But there definitely is an excitement for the season.
Yeah.
How about you?
It's exciting. Well, this week, my husband and I have dinner with another couple friends.
Okay.
Sorry, the grammar kind of messed me up there from church. And then, Saturday we have our leader summit.
Oh, so, that's right.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Yes. And then I think we're going to eat either the night before or that day, we're going to have lunch or something.
Yeah. I mean, you mean eat together.
Yes.
Not just,
that's we're going to have the only time. I think we're all eating.
We're all going to eat our chips.
Various times between now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we just encourage everyone to go enjoy the life God's given you, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for spending time with us today on That's Why We're Friends.
We hope you laughed, felt encouraged, and are walking away with a little more hope for your day.
If you love this episode, make sure to follow the podcast so you never miss what's next.
And share it with a friend who needs a little encouragement, because that's why we're friends.
Some products or services we mention may be paid promotions. Any advice shared should be confirmed with a qualified professional. Our conversations and opinions are meant for encouragement and entertainment only.